And yes, the vampires are lesbian. Are they toxic? Excited to dig into every single one of those. So
I'm intrigued.
It was an audible gasp.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kate, and this is hopefully going to be one of the first of many weekly reading vlogs where I give you a little bit of life update and talk about what I'm reading this week. It is Wednesday and I'm just about to grab some lunch. I've just been watching Lucy's Library's Edinburgh vlog, so I'm just going to grab some lunch, continue watching that, probably finish it, and then sit down and talk about the book that I've just finished, the next book I'm picking up, and what I'm going to be reading for the rest of the week. Okay, so I have my iced chai latte, nearly all gone. So I thought we would talk about the book I've just finished, which was a palette cleanser for me, Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This is really short, it's less than 300 pages, and I picked it up as part of my July TBR, but I love a thriller as like a palette cleanser. I just think it's great to change up your genre, and a thriller is usually always like super fast paced, especially for me. I find that when I read loads of like dark romance or romantasy that I need something to like break up that type of genre with. So I picked this up and I finished it today. It actually took me a couple of days to read it. It wasn't a slow book, it was just me being slow, but I liked it. I gave it 3 stars because it was okay and it had a good twist, and I thought I could predict the ending, or I thought I could predict what was going to happen, but actually it was something slightly different, similar but not like too dissimilar that I was like completely thrown off, and it was like a wow plot twist, so it was okay. I've got a couple more Frida McFadden books that I got in a works haul to get through, so I'm hoping that they will serve me well as like palette cleansers for the rest of the year. And I'm thinking next I'm going to continue with Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I've started it on Audible and I've got a few things to do around the house this afternoon, and I want to do some colouring as well, so I thought I'd just put my headphones on and listen to that on Audible. It's got like a full cast, so it is like a duet narration, but there's also, I'm like only 2 chapters in, but it does seem like it's a full cast. It's definitely not the same narrator doing all parts, so I think I'm going to continue with that, and then I might pick up something else physically maybe tomorrow and see how far I can get. The audiobook's quite long. It's over 15 hours. I've got 15 hours and 3 minutes left, and I'm only 1 minute into chapter 2, so it's going to be long. I want to get back into some colouring, which I have a colouring TikTok channel as well, and I've not really coloured in a long time because it's been so hot. And just sitting there with the fan on, I'm still like stifling. So I want to get back into that. So I'm thinking that I stick my headphones on, we'll do a bit of colouring, and we'll get a lot of this audiobook done. But then I don't know what to read after that. Like if I want to pick something up physically, I'm not sure what else to read. I've got a couple of arcs. I've got some really exciting arcs. So I've got What Fury Brings by Trisha Levenseller, Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake, and then Crown of Briars, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and that is part of a Crowns of the Fae series. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy, I'm not sure how many books. That is by R.L. Perez. And then The Princess Knight, which is by, let me double check, that's Kate Jacobs. So they're all quite like exciting reads. I want to get an e-arc finished this week as well. I feel like I've got about 4 that I want to read by the end of July, so I want to get one ticked off, and I'm like excited to dig into every single one of those, so I don't know which one to go with. I'm thinking maybe a romantasy or What Fury Brings, because I've never read anything by Trisha Levenseller before. I've seen loads of people receive the beautiful like physical arcs, so I've got FOMO. But I might have a look at their release dates and see which one comes out first and read that one, just so I'm up to date with everything. But yeah, I'm going to do some chores, stick my headphones on, and then I might show you a little bit of my colouring, and then we can catch up once I've listened to a couple of chapters of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil.
It passes in this pleasant way.
So I've listened to about like an hour and a half of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and I just went to check my progress. I was like, I wonder what chapter I'm on, and it's really weird. So you've got 3 main characters. I think there's 3 main characters, but there is a 4th name as well that's cropped up. And instead of it being like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Hi, Lou. Instead of it being like consecutive chapters, it's like Maria chapter 1, 2, Alice chapter 1, 2. And then when we go back to Maria, it's chapter 1, 2 again. So there's not like a definitive chapter number. And that's really annoying. I already find it hard to like to see where I am like chapter wise or like progress wise. It's just lying on my arm. Where with audiobooks, but now this is like even harder. It's really weird. I'm listening to it on Audible, but I do know it's on Spotify, so I'm gonna have a look at the Spotify version and see if that's different. It's not like a big deal, it's just a weird observation. But it is interesting. We basically go between each 3 characters and are finding out about their past. I presume it's like leading up until their deaths, because or at the point that they turn into vampires. So we're getting a little like snippet about them, and then going back to another character, learning a little bit about them. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. It's just got like so many like rave reviews, and then I was talking to someone on TikTok about it, and they were just like, I don't get it. I don't get the hype. And obviously reading is subjective, so not everybody's gonna enjoy a book as much as you will. So I'm just bearing that in mind, but I don't want it to influence me too much. So we'll see how we get on. I've just stopped to grab a drink, and then I've got to go get my little one. Her day's finished, and then I might pick the audiobook back up or pick up a physical book tonight. I'm not sure. I'm undecided. What do you think? This is Louis. He's a big grey softie. He's like a teddy bear. Yeah, so I'll check back in probably this evening or tomorrow, and we'll see how we get on. Good morning. It is now Thursday. I didn't do any reading last night because we watched a movie in preparation for going to see the new Jurassic World movie next week. So I think I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of what I'm gonna do today. I am at home / working from home. I need to do like a little bit of an explanation about my situation because it has changed, hence why I'm doing these like bookish vlogs. But I have 2 baskets full of dry laundry to put away, and then I think we're gonna unhaul some books and reorganize my bookshelf, which I will take you guys along with me while doing. Yeah, so I'm gonna stick on Bury My Bones in the Midnight Soil, the audiobook that I've been listening to. I haven't actually picked up the physical book and read that at all yet. I've just been listening to it on audio and I am really enjoying it. I'm intrigued because nothing's really happened in terms of vampireness so far, but I know it's about vampires, so I'm hoping we get to that bit soon. But so far so good. Yeah, so I'm going to stick you on a tripod and take you along with me as I do some tidying, and then we look at the bookshelf and see how we can sort it out and maybe get rid of some books that are hiding at the top that I know I'm either not going to read or have read and I don't want to keep, and then we can redistribute some new books because there's a few.
Maria blinks, recovering her senses.
So I haven't managed to get around to do my bookshelves today. I probably won't. Probably won't tomorrow. I don't know. I might try and do them tomorrow, we'll see. But I thought we could open some book mail that I got today. So we have 2 special editions. The first one is my monthly fairy loot box. So the theme for July is Dancing with Danger. So if you didn't want to know what book it is, then you need to skip this part. So our featured book of the month is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I have opened this and it is gorgeous. This is what she looks like. Look at those edges. Gorgeous. So this is a romantasy and it's about a dancer. That is literally all I know. I saw someone on TikTok, is it M Fun? I think that's her. She's American. I believe she got an arc of this. She read it months and months ago and she gave it 5 stars. She said she was so excited for people to read it. It was really good. So this is a beautiful edition. That's the end pages. I won't show you all of it. I'll post a full reveal over on the back. I'll post a full reveal over on TikTok. But it is very pretty, very floral, very spring summery themed. And it says Death is a Dance. Ooh. And then I've got a special edition from Blackwell's. I think this might be my first time ordering from Blackwell's, but they are a book retailer. I'm not sure, are they owned? Is it the same people that own Waterstones? I don't know where I heard that. This, I completely forgot that this was coming. Oops, sorry Zoe, my cat's there. I wanted a special edition of this book and I couldn't really see any that were outside of subscription boxes that I liked, and then I stumbled across this. So this is Rose in Chains. This is a Dramini fanfic that's been turned into, well, got picked up by a trad publisher, so the story has been changed, and it's a very pretty edition by Julie Soto. So yeah, I love the cover on this. I'm the sprayed edges are fine, but the cover, the gorgeous silver and purple together, is just beautiful. So this is in her gorgeously dark romantic fantasy debut. USA Today best-selling author Julie Soto weaves a spellbinding tale of love, hate and explosive magic. The war is over, the dark forces have won, and the hero who was supposed to save them is dead. So obviously they had to change certain parts of the book to be able to traditionally publish it, so there are now like crossovers with the Harry Potter IP, J.K. Rowling, etc. Also probably want to distance themselves from it, rightly so. An Evermore Rosewood family tree in the start. There is like a little trigger warning message as well. So I did know about those triggers before I went and bought this, and those are all fine with me. I'm very aware that this book is dark in places, but I am excited to read this, and I have now a beautiful edition. So this was from Blackwell's. I'm thinking actually now that I've got 2 new special editions, I should probably go and reorganize that bookshelf. I think even if I don't reorganize it, I should at least unhaul some books, so take some off that I can pop in my spare room until I sell those on Vinted, just to make some space. My special edition shelf, like I have just one shelf. It's only a small like IKEA bookshelf. The one shelf is full of special editions and I'm having to like double stack them, and that's a shame because with special editions you obviously want to get this like not the spine, the other end, the end like pages, sprayed edge, couldn't think of it, the sprayed edge is facing outwards. So let's go and do that. So to show you what I've done so far is cleared some books from this top shelf and then used some like special editions to basically hide like all the mismatched books that are behind there. I've also pulled off a stack of books, excuse the toys, here that I no longer want, and then what I'm thinking is keep my special editions here. I'm gonna have to double stack them, like a row behind and a row in front. And then I have a lot of fantasy romance on this shelf ready, so we're going to keep pretty much fantasy romance on all 3 shelves because I don't really feel like moving this one around, just tidying it up because there's a lot on there. He's just going to tidy this up. I know there's a few books that I want to unhaul from here, like Onyx Storm and Iron Flame hardbacks, because I have like 2 special editions for each of those anyway, so I don't need the plain like special edition, plain like hardbacks. This When the Moon Hatched I have to keep because it is signed and I don't want to get rid of that. Rebel Witch I think I'm going to unhaul because I read the first on Kindle, so I don't own a physical copy and I don't really read like my physical hardbacks, like very rarely, so I probably unhaul that. And then I just want to group books together, so I have like Iron Flame here, Fourth Wing here, the like other book in this trilogy is somewhere else. Yeah, I just feel like I have series that aren't grouped together, so I need to group them together. And then I also just need to like sort it out a little bit more because I like to group by genres, but because I've just been adding to my collection, they're just everywhere. And these are like all new books, some of these are new books, so I need to like find a place for them. And then I need to also sort of group by like height, so like the indie covers and some of like the American paperbacks are a lot taller than obviously like the UK versions. So I just want a bit of like consistency through everything, and I need to find a place for like my candles and stuff, so that is the plan next. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done. I just don't want to spend too much time on it because I could be here forever. So we've got some special editions on the top shelf, hiding the stuff behind. We have the purely special edition shelf, and then we have Romantasy and pretty much honestly only just Romantasy on there. And the next shelf we have my Game of Thrones series, which I'm yet to get to. And then there's some thrillers, and then there's romance, dark romance, and then bottom shelf again. There's some thrillers hiding up there because I just don't have space to put them anywhere else. And hi Louie. And some romantasies, that kind of thing. I just yeah, really short in space. This bookshelf is just in the middle of our living room, so there's not a lot I can do. We don't really have space for another one. But yeah, it looks a lot tidier. There's a lot of space for things. And then this is the massive get rid of pile. So all of these, hi Louie, all of these will be up on my Vinted hopefully in the next couple of days. Yeah.
Hello, you joined me a couple of days after I last updated you guys on what I was reading, what I was doing. Had a busy couple of days with finishing up work. I am going to do like a little separate video all about my work situation and why I've thrown myself into content creating. But I just wanted to talk about this book. I finished this 2 days ago now. It is Bone Deep by Rachel Chadwick. If you don't follow her on TikTok, please go over there. She's hilarious. She's so funny. And she is such a good author. So this is the first book that I've read by her. She also has another one out called Ruin Me Gently that I need to pick up immediately because this was insane. So this was a dark romance, a dark psychological romance. And we follow Lavanna, who is a mortician. She specialises in like infant and children mortician practices, so embalming, makeup, all of that kind of stuff. Quite dark, quite grim. Please check your trigger warnings for this book because it is dark. It has very dark themes, lots of mentions of like child death, things like that. So it is quite dark and could be triggering for people, so check them. And then we follow Patrick as well, so it's a dual POV book. Patrick is a like golden retriever type MMC. He really likes Savannah. He goes after her in the sense of showing up at places. I don't want to ruin it too much, but he basically has his heart set on her and he goes after her and she falls for him, and it's spicy. It's a wild ride. As we get deeper into the story, there are some things that we find out about Patrick and his past, and they are dark and they shook me. Like the realisation, I was just, it was an audible gasp, and I was just like, oh my God, I had no idea that this is where it was going. And that is when the sort of like thriller psychological aspect of this book came into play. And I've never read a like psychological dark romance, so this was insane for me. This made me want to read more of the genre, more of the author. It was so good. It was a 5-star read for me. I just couldn't put it down. I switched between the physical copy because the writing is quite small, but also the Kindle version as well, so it's on Kindle Unlimited if you wanted to read it there. She has just put out a new cover for this, so I don't think this specific cover will be available for much longer. She's redesigned the cover and like formatted it inside to like beautiful like dark pages. Gorgeous. Yeah, just please pick this up if dark romance and psychological thrillers are your genres and you want to sort of like cross them over. This is the book for you. I loved it. I am still reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm listening to it on audio and I'm finding it a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just everyone described it as toxic lesbian vampires, and yes, the vampires are lesbian. Are they toxic? Not as toxic as maybe some of like the darker books that I read. So I'm a bit like, when's this going to get exciting? The themes are quite sort of deep. It talks about life and death, and is life really worth living if you can't die? So obviously the vampire element comes into that, but I am bored. I'm obviously going to power through. I've got it on Audible. I'm going to finish the audio book, but I don't think I'm going to rate this any higher than 3 stars. It's just not gripping me. It's just like a bit of a slog. Like I understand this was so many people's 5-star read for like June and July, and I was so excited to get to it, but it's just not hitting for me. But that's okay. That's fine. And then the next book I picked up was My Dark Desire. So this is the last book on my physical TBR for July, and we are at the 23rd of July, so made great progress. I think after this I'm gonna read some arcs. I'm thinking of doing like an arc August. So I have 3 arcs on my Kindle ready to go, ready to be read, and I've requested a few more. So I think I'm gonna do a little video on requesting the arcs and also reading some, so like a reading vlog mixed in there as well. Let me know what you think. Is that a good idea? Would anyone be interested in that? But yeah, this is a like Cinderella retelling. So My Dark Desire by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. I've read the first book in this, which was My Dark Romeo. Loved it. It was like a grumpy sunshine, kind of like a toxic relationship romance. Loved it though. It was so good. So we started this last night and it's quite beefy. It's over 500 pages long, so this will probably take me until like the end of the week to finish, because I've got so much going on at the moment that I'm not finding a lot of time for reading, but hopefully I'll fly through it. It's good so far. We have got Zachary's son, who is like closely guarded, doesn't open his heart to anyone. He's quite like serious, non-committal. And then we have what's the FMC's name? Farrow. And I believe she kind of like gets locked in his house, and it's like a Cinderella type story. So he goes after her, doesn't really know who she is, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that is basically going to be the end of this reading vlog. Thank you if you guys have stuck around and watched until the end. It's been a little bit here and there, but it's been my first one, so hopefully it was enjoyable to follow along with my reading journey for the past week, and hopefully I'll do some more. If you have stayed until the end, pop a little rose emoji in the comments and I will see you soon.